From the firstregional.com studios, tornado warning coverage starts right now.
Good evening, everybody. This is Derek back here with y'all again. We have a brand new tornado warning. This goes out for Polk, Montgomery, and Pike counties. Again, this is a storm that we have been watching really over the last 20 or 30 minutes or so. We didn't really expect, we were kind of waiting to see if it was going to latch onto the boundary and kind of seeing how this would move towards the southeast over the course of the next 20 or 30 minutes. But as you can see right here, again, right here is Mena, right here is Wicks, right here is Derricks. Again, this is moving towards the southeast at 15 miles per hour. So again, if you live in southeastern Polk County, if you live in southwestern Montgomery County, and you live in northwestern Pike County, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately, folks. This is a storm that is showing signs of rotation right now. Again, there is nothing confirmed. This is a radar indicated rotation. Cameron, if you can zoom in for me and give me a tracker on this storm as well. Again, mainly affecting our rural areas here of Polk County here in western Arkansas. Again, this is a storm that is kind of lashed onto that boundary. We've been talking about this all afternoon. We talked about it as well on the live stream earlier, that, hey, you know, these storms will latch onto that boundary. If they do, they can spin up and produce a tornado at any point in time. Again, it's dark. Do not try to go outside and see this storm. Do not try to go on a spot. It is time to get to the lowest level of your house. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Again, so again, here's our track on this storm for my folks, and let's go this side over here. So again, for my folks in New Hope at 9:48, my folks in Daisy at 9:56, and then on down towards the 10 o'clock hour down here for my folks in Kirby. So once again, this storm is currently, here's Mena right here, and then Wicks. Again, this is going to be north of Gillum, north of DeQueen, but if this is going to track just north of Derricks. However, if you live on the south side of Mena, Highway 71 runs right through here. Highway 71 is right here. Again, and so if you live in between Derricks and you live in between Mount Ida, you need to be taking your tornado precaution immediately, folks. Again, this is a storm right here. If there were to be a tornado in this storm, this is where it's going to be. Right in between Borkamp, right in between just the south of Mena, just to the east of Hatfield. Again, this is east of Hatfield. This is east of Hatfield, east of Vandervoort, east of Cove. If you live in Cove, you're fine. But if you live in Hatfield, you're fine. However, if you live anywhere in southeastern Polk County, you know the very northern part of Pike County right here, and even if you live in northern Howard County, you are not under a tornado warning at this time, because this is on two different National Weather Service areas. National Weather Service Shreveport, National Weather Service in Little Rock. Little Rock is responsible for Pike County, Montgomery County, Polk County, POLK, and of course Shreveport is responsible for our folks in Sevier County and Howard County. So again, if you live in northeastern Howard County, you need to be taking your safe place as well, folks. This is a storm. It's in the mountains. It's at night. Lowest level of your house. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Cameron, let's go back to our reflectivity view here, just to kind of show everybody what this storm will launch on. Again, right here is your area of rotation. And you can see the storm is drawing in and coming around. Vandervoort, you're in the clear. Hatfield, you're in the clear. Mena, in the clear. However, anywhere on the southeastern side of this storm, again, most of our tornadic storms move southwest to northeast. Well, this one is moving northwest to southeast. So again, if you live heading towards Derricks, heading towards New Hope, heading towards Glenwood, you need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. Again, a brief spin up is possible with this at any point in time.
So hopefully you guys can hear me really good. I'm setting the microphone over here compared to Derek, so be mindful of any audio issues we may have. I do want to talk about this storm a little bit because number one, it's in a very awkward area south of this is in Polk County, PLK, by the way, south of Mena, just to the east of Cove, northwest of New Hope. So anyone in these areas, if you're traveling right now, it's about 9 o'clock in the evening. Make sure you take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to yourself and the outside as physically possible here. So, an interesting part about this storm as well is there's an outflow boundary that's I would say maybe about 15, 20 miles away from the storm. If it can latch onto said boundary and actually get itself together, this could produce a brief tornado, especially just to the northwest of New Hope. So I think that's going to be, let me get my road network up over here. That's going to be going on 70. So that's 70, and then that's also Highway 278. So folks that are traveling over there, make sure that you are take your tornado precautions there. Back to you, Derek.
At our debris indicator and our rotation indicator, because this is a very good thing, that we use when it comes to tracking severe weather, tracking tornadoes especially, again. And as you can see, very strong area of rotation right here, literally in southern Polk County, P-O-L-K. Again, this is in southern Polk County. If there were to be a tornado, and Cameron, I'm getting a little bit worried about this, that we are starting to see an increasing signs of rotation right through here again. So here's Hatfield, here's Cove. Folks, this is to the east of 71. This is Highway 71 right here. This is to the east of 71. Here is State Highway 246. Again, Waco Road on down in Howard County, Highway 278. This is going to track very close to Highway 278. Folks, if you live in Howard County, I want to stress this. You are not under a warning. No sirens are going off. There is a tornado warning just to your north. If you live in northeastern Howard County, you need to be in your safe place right now. Lowest level of your house. Put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Center part of your house, basement, get pillows, blankets, mattresses. I know it's coming up. It's a school night where we are getting all those kids down, getting them ready for the next day. Again, this is a thing where we need to take cover now, folks. If you know anybody in rural areas of Polk County, P-O-L-K, Montgomery County, Pike County, northeastern Howard County, they need to be taking their tornado precautions now. And I mean, if you do not have a basement or a storm cellar, center part of your house, if you live in a mobile home, the best thing to do is get to the center part of that home. Again, not the best, but something, cover your head, helmet, mattresses, pillows, blankets, whatever, because head is where we see the number one number one injury when it comes to tornadic activity. So once again, just looking out, again, this is the only severe storm in the state as of this time, and this is a tornadic storm. Again, this is a storm that is lashed onto a boundary. It is rotating, and it is a very dangerous storm. We're also watching these storms coming out of McCurtain County as well. These storms are going to cross into a very favorable environment. Again, our atmosphere is lessening, but it's still not zero, so we still have to watch these storms as they move through southwest Arkansas. Yes, I know the Storm Prediction Center had that risk in northwest Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas, you are good to go. Your threat is over with. Your biggest issue now is going to be flooding. My folks on I-40 in the central Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, our biggest issue here is going to be flooding, folks. Flooding. This is going to be the biggest issue as we go into the overnight hours across this part of the state. Again, I want to stress this. Flooding, north, west, central, east. Our biggest tornado risk right now is currently our southwest Arkansas, folks. This is where we're going to be honing in on and watching for the next few hours, at least until the midnight hour, just to make sure this is the one and only storm of the night that gets up and going. Cameron?
So, hopefully you guys can hear me. So I'm kind of in the background, by the way. You guys aren't going to see my face for a little bit. We're still getting everything new and everything. Derek, first and foremost, I'm going to double botch you, real quick, because we've got a lot of folks that are asking about Central Arkansas. Respectfully so. I'm going to, if you give me just a second, I'll bring back your full screen over there so you'll be able to see it. So I'm bringing up these cameras here. I'm gonna try to give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to do this. Bear me for just a little bit here, but we had a lot of folks that are asking about Central Arkansas. So for right now, Central Arkansas, this is just a lot of heavy rainfall and thunder coming your way. Nothing about this is tornadic. Right now, the only tornadic storm is going to be for our folks over there in Polk County, POLK, south of the Mena area, just to the west of Glenwood. Keep an eye on that area here. Like I mentioned before, if it can latch onto that boundary, that may pose a tornado issue over there. That's going to be just south of the Mena area here. So.
One thing that concerns me about this storm is which is indicative of a very growing storm and strong storm. You also have a very good hook on the back side of this. This means it is tapping into the wind energy. Our one saving grace is going to be the storms to the west. As the storms to the west move in, it's going to what we call choke it off. So the idea is that it chokes off its inflow, and therefore we have a weakening storm and lower that tornado threat. However, for the time being, though, we are dealing with that tornado warning here for our folks in Polk, POLK, Montgomery, and Pike County. But however, for my folks in Howard County, I want you to take your precautions as well. Again, I know my folks in Central Arkansas, like Cameron said, we're okay here. We don't have much to worry about, except for the flooding risk, maybe some high winds and some small hail. But again, the biggest issue continues to be right here. And again, my concern is this is moving down towards New Hope, towards Daisy or Derricks. So again, folks, if you live in Derricks, if you live in Daisy, you need to be taking your tornado precaution. Again, it's going to come in places like New Hope at 947, Daisy at 955, on down towards Kirby, and on down towards Amity as we approach the 10:15 time frame this evening. Again, it's showing signs of rotation. Let's go back to our velocity scan here just to show everybody where this rotation is and what's coming up here in just a second. And again, the latest scan, it is still there. Basically, right now, in between Board Camp, Greenland, here's Wicks, here's Hatfield, here's Mena. Again, Highway 71 right here. And then this is where your rotation is. Yes, Cameron.
So I want to urge a little bit of caution about that area that's going to be just south of the Mena area. You see that purple that is like on the eastern side of where the potential tornado is going to be. So if you can highlight that area, that's right there. I do believe that's not Highway 2, Highway 8. Yeah, so that purple area is the outside of the Little Rock radar's edge. So what's going on here is, kind of throwing out to our Skycam project. This is why we're trying to get Skycams across the area here, because, this is outside of Little Rock's radar's jurisdiction. So the radar's not getting a good handle on this rotation at all. So folks that are watching this right now, I've got Derek in a double box here. So the camera that you're looking at on the left side is going to be our Central Arkansas Skycam, brought to you by Therapeutic Family Services. Also Chubb's so we've got you guys covered over here in Central Arkansas. I want to stress that none of this is tornadic or anything like that near the Little Rock area. Our main concern is going to be for our folks over here in Mena. But I just want to urge caution, because once you get into western Arkansas, the radar data becomes very, very, very loose over there. The Fort Smith one, possibly, yeah, I can. That might help a little bit.
That may give us a little better, because from Fort Smith down to Mena, it's not that far away.
Tornado warning's been dropped.
Okay. So
Well, let's stay on it, because it still has a good amount of rotation.
So again, the warning has been dropped again from our folks in Polk County, Pike County, and Montgomery County. The warning has been dropped. We are going to stay with this a few more minutes here. Again, as you can see, our rotation is still here. It's not as strong as it once was. But again, it is going to be in areas just to the southeast of Mena. And this is going to track towards Derricks, Daisy, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Belvin, and then on down towards Hope as we head into the 10 o'clock hour, 11 o'clock hour this evening. Again, we are still watching more of these storms that are going to be coming out of Oklahoma. These storms are going to be coming across, and this is where our worry is becoming now, transitioning from that tornado threat to that flooding threat, because as we go deeper into the night, what's going to happen is our front that is going to bring much better fall air, mind you, for the upcoming weekend, cool, drier air, it is also going to be bringing that possibility of flooding as we go into the overnight hour. It is going to take almost 24 hours to get this front out of the state. So, yes, for my folks in East Arkansas, that means we're going to be dealing with the possibility of some isolated severe storms tomorrow. But for right now, again, tornado warning has been dropped for my folks here in Polk County. As you can see, we did kind of gust out here a little bit, which is a very good thing to see. That means we are seeing more of a damaging wind threat than we are tornado threat. However, we do still need to watch these storms throughout the evening into the overnight hours. So Cameron, let's go back up here and just take one last quick view live. Yes, sir.
Before we do that, Derek, I do want to kind of talk about this storm here. I'm not too comfortable letting it go just yet because it's still exhibiting a good amount of mid-level rotation. I did mention earlier that there was a boundary, and what we call an outflow boundary. So you could see earlier on it really started to merge with said boundary. But now the boundary looks like it's ahead of the rotation, which is good. You want to reduce the tornado threat. This could potentially gust out. So anybody that's, on Highway 278, Highway 84, the New Hope area, Daisy, things are about to get a little windy coming up within the next 20 to 25 minutes here. But we're going to continue to monitor. I know the tornado warning's been dropped, but this thing is still exhibiting some mid-level rotation. So we're going to keep an eye on it here. My folks that are, like I said, the New Hope area, that's Highway 70, Highway 84, the Daisy area. Keep an eye on this. Also, we're in communication with the National Weather Service. So if another tornado warning does get issued, I assume it'd probably be somewhere in this vicinity. That's going to be for the New Hope, the Murfreesboro area, etc. So we'll watch it. Right now, it looks like if there's a boundary, like I said, there's a boundary right here, and it's right behind it. So if we can keep that area of rotation behind said boundary, we'll get away with the tornado threat, but the damaging wind threat will still be there. Really shocked they haven't put a special weather statement or a severe warning with this just yet. But I know the boys and gals at National Weather Service, they're watching the situation very closely here. And yeah,
like we said, this is in between Little Rock jurisdiction. So again, both of the officers are going to be, communicating with the storm, especially, as it does cross here through parts of Howard County, as it does cross into Pike County again here over the next hour or so. Just going out and looking at a statewide view, let's go back to our reflectivity here once again, and you can see this has become a flooding threat. If you live anywhere in central Arkansas, if you live anywhere in the River Valley, this is what we call training storms, folks. This is what we call training storms along the outflow boundary. The outflow boundary is sinking south, and you can see this boundary clear as day from basically Broken Bow, Idabel, just to the south of Mena, up through Mount Ida, up through Hot Springs, up through the metro, and then east up towards the Memphis area. So again, anywhere along and north of this boundary, your day is done. And to our folks on Facebook, this is the first time you're seeing this studio setup. This is the first time you're seeing it. We actually presented it to our folks on YouTube and on Natural State Live earlier this evening. So again, if you don't have that, be sure and download it on Roku, on Fire TV. If you don't have those, you can go to our website, click on the Natural State Weather Live tab, and you can streamcast it to your smart TV, and you can see it on YouTube as well. But we are very proud to show you, the developing things of what we've been working on all summer long. Shout out to our Chief Engineer Ryan. Shout out to Cameron, and our entire team. It has been a long summer working towards this of what you're seeing now as we continue to upgrade and continue to bring you better coverage as we go into the future.
So it looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning that's just southwest of Fort Smith. I want to kind of throw this out there too. I know we've had a very long year in terms of weather here in Arkansas, in terms of tornadoes and everything like that. I want to throw out the flooding potential because a lot of people are going to ignore the flooding potential. Correct me if I'm wrong. What is today? Tuesday? Okay, so first, it's been a long week. First thing in the morning, you've got work, you've got school, etc. I'm growing concerned. I know the WPC highlighted this area for the potential heavy rainfall. Folks, if you are out traveling, it's about to be 10 o'clock at night, you got people working overnight, please be mindful of flooding. We've had a lot of flooding issues this year. I would dare say more about as equal as the tornadoes we've seen this far this year. So please do not ignore the flooding threat, especially my folks up here near Fort Smith along Interstate 40. My folks in the metro, this is about to become a serious problem. Looks like we're going to get some training thunderstorms from the Mena area over towards the Little Rock area. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of folks are worried about the tornado threat. Don't ignore flooding because flooding can easily be just as big of an issue as dealing with tornadoes here. But I kind of want to throw out that severe warning we have right now. That's just to the south of Fort Smith, mainly for 60-mile-per-hour winds and pocket change hail here, but nothing significant right now. I saw that tornado warning. Yeah, you can actually see the boundary where it was. It's right ahead of that tornadic cell that was. Yeah.
So again, my folks in Kirby, my folks towards Gurdon, down here towards Texarkana. Again, we are still dealing with the threat of severe weather, but if we can keep this boundary. If we can keep this boundary right here ahead, if we can keep this boundary ahead of everything, we will be good to go for the rest of the night. But the biggest thing is, do we keep this boundary ahead, or do we get these storms that are currently working along the Red, all these storms here that are working along the Red River? The question is going to be, do they move into Arkansas, or do they sag south with the boundary and miss us all together? That is going to be the million-dollar question as we go into the rest of the night. But again, like Cameron said, like I've said, we're going to be here until the threat wanes, and we're going to be sure we keep you ahead of the storm.